5'9" with the real red eyes, and we dying inside. Oh, bodies in fluoride.
What is good, y'all? This is JV here, and today I got another album review for you guys. Super hyped about this one. Finally getting a chance to review the new Suicide Boys project, Gray Sheep 2. As you can see, I wore my Suicide Boys shirt from the Dirty Nasty Suicide kind of era that they were doing. Such a big fan of these guys' works. You know, they're two New Orleans-based MCs. They've been really killing it in, you know, this kind of like cloud trap, nightmare trap, dark kind of theme, trap kind of realm that they do. I've always loved their production. Their features are incredible. I kind of got turned on to them a couple months back, maybe like 5 or 6 months back, with their song Paris. That is actually the opening to my videos now. I love, you know, their music that much. So when I hear that, you know, they have full projects out, I basically went to their Bandcamp, checked out a couple of their projects, and basically I ended up, you know, checking out their entire discography, all their full lengths, the Kill Yourself 10-part mixtape series. I just absolutely love their music. And then listening to Suicide Boys, I kind of got turned on to a lot of their affiliates like Puya, Fat Nick, Shakewell, you know, the Buffet Boys, Ramirez, you know, all the G59 artists. So I'm definitely all the way in with this kind of style of music. I'm definitely in for Suicide Boys' content. So now we have Gray Sheep, and I gotta say, love this project, man. Going back in their full discography and including this one, I have never been let down by a project by them, and they've all been relatively short for the most part. A bunch of EPs, small little tapes here and there. These 3-song little, you know, parts in the Kill Yourself series. So this one is 7 tracks long, so it's not really unheard of to get a 7-song tape from the Suicide Boys. Everything's very clean, very concise. Nothing really drags on. They keep their projects, if they're conceptual, you know, they're a single experience, and that's the way I could describe is that Suicide Boys, listening to them is always an experience. It's never an ordeal. From the kind of aesthetic vibe that they have to their production, all the way to their flow and the way they kind of structure their projects and the placements of the songs and a lot of the symbolism and imagery used, all the way to a lot of the subject matter. It's an entire experience. I never really look at it as just like this is a mixtape or this is an album. You know what I mean? So let's just get into it. The way I usually do these album reviews, I go track by track and give you my quick thoughts on it, and then at the end I give you my full thoughts on the project. So it basically starts off with Do You Believe in God? We have Zach FTP there on the production, along with someone else that I can't read right now. It's scrolling on my phone. CVS Stillo. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. An incredibly eerie kind of opening to this tape or project, this EP. It basically starts off with like some kids chanting, you know, 1, 2, he's coming for you, 3, 4, that kind of thing. And to the part where it basically switches up and it's like, grab your crucifix, and I'm like, oh, so we're starting off like that. Now, if you're not familiar with Suicide Boys, they include not only, you know, stuff about drug abuse and suicide and suicidal thoughts and dark, you know, feelings, and introspective kind of, you know, rhymes, but they also include a lot of religious symbolism, imagery, kind of like, you know, satanic themes and stuff like that, and kind of like opposed to a lot of, you know, conventional religious ideals and stuff like that. So we definitely get a lot of that on this first track, as you would expect for a track called Do You Believe in God? You know, basically we're getting that dark satanic kind of talk on this one, and I gotta say this song is as gritty and grimy and dark as basically we've ever heard them before, man. They're not playing safe on this first track, so they open it up. They definitely got the vibe. The whole thing is super eerie and you know, undertones. It's some really crazy stuff, and then brings us to the next track, A Girl Named Drool and a Pack of Cools. Very interesting track by them, and the reason that is kind of opens up with some, it's given me Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, 1950s to 60s Disney movie cinematic kind of orchestral arrangement kind of vibes, which is super strange for, you know, Suicide Boys release. You know, this is, if I have to say one thing about this project as a whole, is that I think it's incredibly versatile, especially, you know, from their discography. Their entire discography, they've tried a lot of different things, they've experimented with a lot of things, but I feel like this project takes from a lot of the different things they've done, a lot of the subgenres that they've experimented with, and put it onto one project and somehow make it flow together. So this one is basically the Suicide Boys take, I would imagine, on some kind of like love song slash love ballad. You know, we have some vocals on here, especially towards the latter half. Basically, you know, it starts off with some kind of narrative of him trying to chat up a girl that he's interested in, and we get some kind of weird love rap along with that classic Suicide Boys twist to it. And that kind of leads us into the song The Sacred, with Slim Gucci there on the production. Shout out to Slim Gucci, sorry. Incredibly impactful song. This is when the bass finally starts knocking up. To this point, it was really low key, you know, production styling, super lyric heavy, and The Sacred is the point where it kind of slaps you in the face with that banger, man. We're getting some crazy flow variations that we've seen from Suicide Boys. If there's anything that you could say, along with like some rappers like maybe like a Flatbush Zombies, is that these guys are some of the best, I feel like, flow rappers on trap beats in the game right now. Definitely my favorite group in the game right now. So, you know, The Sacred really bangs it, and it kind of brings us into this song Chevrolet, in quotation Pimpalicious Candy Cane Main 74 remix. And just by the title alone, you could kind of get a vibe for what the song is going for. We're getting kind of like 90s 3-6 Mafia, Big Crit, 808 cowbell kind of vibe to it. I'm getting Southern Cadillac music kind of thing. Kind of like, you know, from Outkast, that's what we're getting. We're getting that kind of southern, super southern vibe, which is, it makes sense considering that these are, you know, New Orleans based rappers who definitely grew up not only in getting inspirations from the punk scene, but from a lot of the southern trap rap scene as well, you know, in those early days. And that's definitely what we get on here. The production is like super, almost like, I wouldn't say lo-fi, but super throwback sounding with almost that vinyl sounding haze on it. And their deliveries definitely kind of adjust to the style of the beat. It's smoother, it's more melodic, and they're really just vibing out on this piece too. And then we get the song Aoki Gahara, which I'm assuming is a Japanese word, with Genshin on the production. Love this track, man. Cool thing about this track is that it definitely takes that kind of like aesthetic internet rap kind of vibe to it, and I hate to classify that, I mean this in the most kind way possible, but we're definitely getting like Tumblr vaporwave mixed with some kind of like Japanese inspired anime-esque kind of vibe to it. The production switches up incredibly, and we get some ambitious, I would say, vocals on the second half of this, which is, you know, the vocals are just getting belted out, and we definitely see them experimenting with, you know, straight singing before, and again, a very punk rockish kind of way, just kind of belting out these power notes. And so that's what we get on the second half, and that brings us to what I would imagine is the main lead single of this project, Resin, with Geeky on production. Geeky, I believe it's pronounced. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Resin, oh my god. They dropped this a couple weeks before this project, and immediately I had it just repping on SoundCloud, and I'm like, holy shit, like this is one of the most hard-hitting Suicide Boys tracks I've heard since probably Paris, because we had, you know, Antarctica in between, which was super, like, you know, dark. So Resin was back to that hard-hitting vibe. It has really, you know, like precise, like boom, boom, boom kind of style, you know, production. And I gotta also give a shout out to their flow on this, and I spoke about Resin before, back on my favorite singles release. I gotta give a shout out to the flow mix with this, and there's this one part where it's like do do do, like, and it hypes me up, and I know I sound stupid saying that, but there's one part where they kind of like go off the rails on the second half of the track and just go at it. And then lastly, we have The Nail to the Cross, produced by Dirty Vans. And I could say that this is one of the most perfect outros I've heard. Like the beginning, it takes a more eerie vibe. Their flows kind of calm down and kind of like ease us into the last of this project. And I gotta say, for a 7-song project, that this is an incredible body of work that I can't see many people in their lane doing, man. I feel like G59 and Suicide Boy specifically are doing something amazing. And I would love them to get more exposure, be able to work with more producers, more collabs, because I think they're incredible MCs, down to their pen game, to their flows, to their production that we see them produce a lot of beats. A lot of the guys they surround themselves with are also incredible artists, and when they come together, they have incredible chemistry. And I have to say, Suicide Boys has a very rich discography. We've gotten a lot of music from them, multiple projects a year, dating back to, I believe, 2014. And I gotta say that, you know, they're definitely my favorite rappers in the game right now. I gotta say, if it comes to a crew, you know, mixed with the Pro Eras and the ASAPs and the Clear Soul Forces, I gotta say that Suicide Boys are my favorite right now. I love this project. I don't think it's my favorite Suicide Boys project by any means, but I think it's versatile. It definitely has a great deal of, you know, ability to be revisited and reanalyzed, and I just look forward to what they release in the future. I'm curious as to what y'all thought about this project. Are you into Suicide Boys? Did you like this project? How do you think it compared to their previous releases? What's your favorite song on this project? Curious to for you guys to let me know. Till next time, this is JV. I love you guys. Bye.